You're watching Liquid Lunch on Newsmax TV. I'm John Tobacco, as you probably know. But those of you just tuning in, we're here every day, Monday to Friday, live from noon to 2 Eastern in the Question Tequila Studios. Talk about all things the new economy. Litecoin Lisa's coming up later on to talk about Bitcoin, Litecoin, all that good stuff. But we try to give you a healthy dose every day of real talk on the politics, where we bring on a Democrat and a Republican, and we mix it up. I need some more ice in there, but I mix up a drink, throw out the topics of the day, and our esteemed experts battle it out. At the end, we have a drink of our friends. But Tim Collins joins us again. He's the general manager of Bobby Vans, right across from New York Stock Exchange here in New York. And Jaden Horn, representing the right guys. Now let's go overseas. Let's cross the pond. And over in the UK, it appears that the Parliament has, the courts have agreed that Boris Johnson's shutdown of Parliament was illegal. Tim?
Clearly, this was an 11-0 decision. I don't think there was much of an issue. Growing justices here. Boris Johnson is out of control. This thing needs to be reined in, and reined in now.
So the way this stuff works, Jaden, is we currently have Bibi Netanyahu in Israel. He's under indictment or investigation. We have now Boris Johnson apparently engaging, according to the authorities there, in an illegal thing. And we have Trump in an impeachment inquiry. The three greatest allies of each other are all being attacked by their own governments.
Well, I think, the establishment in the West, in the Western world, is kind of revolting against, the people's populism. But to go back to the UK Supreme Court ruling, it is an assault on the British Constitution, because this court, created in 1997, essentially usurped over 1,000 years of parliamentary supremacy by arguing that a prorogation, which is a suspension of Parliament, done by the Prime Minister and the Queen, is illegal, which the Prime Minister leads Parliament and has the right to do with Parliament as he decides, because he has been given those powers by Parliament, and Parliament is supreme. Just because it was unanimous doesn't mean that it was constitutionally correct within the British system. And on top of that, we know that by this ruling, they've established a principle of judicial review, which does not exist in the UK system.
So they
So now they have a constitutional crisis.
They
I don't believe that they
legislated from the
actually
bench.
They legislated from the bench.
But they don't actually have a constitution.
Their
Great
unwritten
Britain does not have a
constitutional system is
constitution.
based
It's
on
not written.
Yes, the
Like
unwritten
ours,
constitution
it's unwritten.
is based on the idea of common law.
Common law.
Parliamentary supremacy.
Common law.
Parliament is ultimately supreme. Parliament could pass a law confiscating all property. Parliament could pass a law dissolving the monarchy. Parliament could pass a law taking itself out of the EU or putting itself in. There is no system of checks and balances in the UK. And creating the idea of judicial review in an unwritten constitutional system usurps their entire order. And it will, I believe, lead
So
to
then Boris Johnson is a king. He's a king himself.
Parliamentary
They
supremacy.
don't
He's
have
a
a
king
king.
into
They don't have a
himself.
king. Maybe they need a new king.
He's the king that has
Maybe
the
they need a
power.
king.
He goes to the Queen, lies to the Queen.
He is only,
Disbands
he is
Parliament.
only in
He
power.
might as well just
he is
take
only in
over.
power in Parliament based
Pretty-
on a majority.
Pretty soon he can just start drawing up his own army,
Until
marching
he
through the
loses the
streets.
support of
I
Parliament.
would think kings
Parliament
have been-
can take a no confidence vote.
I would think kings have been lying to queens for throughout history, but we'll leave that for another day. I want to talk to you guys about, on a lighter note today, we're all foodies and food aficionados. Tim knows the best steak, the best wine, knows the best of everything, this guy. He lives like a king, actually.
That's what my wife says.
And that's what the missus says. But I want to talk to you guys about a cheesy situation with this French chef who lost a Michelin star because, according to him, he says they mistakenly said he put cheddar in his souffle. How dare you put cheddar in his souffle? Tim, what does this mean to a restaurant to lose a star?
The reality is, with the cheese, he actually didn't put cheddar in the cheese. They actually added saffron, which made it look like cheddar, which caused a big hubbub and a big misunderstanding. He lost his Michelin star, which is a huge deal in France.
No stars for you.
However, his profits went up by 10% due to the notoriety he got from losing the Michelin star and now having a court case. So I think he's going to have trouble in court, but the good news is he's making more money. The cheese is authentic, Robertson cheese and Beaufort cheese. So he is doing better than he was doing before, and he's going to take his weird self to court
You know
and
what,
lose.
Jaden? Maybe me, you, and Walker Bregman got to go over there and get one of these souffles and break it out.
We should, right? We absolutely should. I mean, this is all about this guy's pride, which you know, maybe because I'm an American, I couldn't laugh more, because what could be more French than him worrying about him losing his star because of pride?
You insult my soul? What's wrong with you? You're an animal. I will throw a case of croissants at you. It's crazy.
I think Newsmax should pay for us to have a field trip over there just so we can
Yeah,
adjudicate this in
yeah.
public.
Good idea.
We can adjudicate this in public.
Newsmax ain't gonna pay for nothing if you don't stay right there and watch these commercials. But I want to thank Tim Collins and Jaden Horn for mixing it up with us today, guys. You were great. Thank you. Thank you for watching Liquid Lunch. Stay right there now, y'all. We're coming back with Litecoin Lisa.